Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How you doing? Okay. Now, a couple things. First of all, I'm seeing in the chat people are asking about what's this Accelerator group? What's this Accelerator group? Today, for this workshop, this is part of a year-long curriculum for people who are in the Accelerator group. But for today, we have some guests that are only here for today. They're here as guests. So don't worry about that Facebook group. That's kind of, the Accelerator group is kind of closed. Next time you can come into that is going to be this December at GoPro. But in the meantime, welcome as our guests. We're going to be able to share 2 days together. It's going to be amazing. Second, yes, there is going to be replay for everyone attending. You're going to have access to this ongoing. Third is just breathe instead of getting overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. This is a process. Mm-hmm. We're going to go through this together. We're going to be learning together, growing together. But it is important that you pay attention to the little things. We're going to give you some advanced strategies in just a bit. We're going to start you on this process, but we're going to be giving you everything you need to do in order to be able to grow your game. Hey, Angel Fletcher, my dear friend. How are you, sister? That woman's unbelievable, what she does in her business. And you know what's funny? She's not necessarily a social media expert, right, Angel? Not necessarily a social media expert, but she's still earning, I don't know, $5 million a year plus in her business. More? 6, 7? How much? 8, 7 or 8 million a year. Unbelievable. And she's here to be able to improve her game, to up her skills inside of our profession. So what I want to do first before we get together is who has some questions for these experts based upon what we talked about? Hey, Lisa Grossman, another superstar, doing the same kind of huge numbers. Who has a question that they would like to get an answer to about what we've talked about so far? Who has a question or who's stuck? Anybody? Simone in room Z4. Simone, let's bring her up. And then after that, JJ Davis will go next. Simone first, JJ Davis second. And then Anna Eason, I think her name is, E-S-E-N, that's in room 6. Simone and JJ Davis are in room 4. Anna's in room 6.
The next time I stand up, take a picture.
I'm ready.
Hey, there you are. I can hear you. Go ahead,
Okay,
Simone.
cool.
What's your question?
First of all, thank you, Eric, Marina, everybody. This is amazing. The last week's been incredible. This whole year has just been amazing. Names, usernames, consistency. Usually you want consistency in marketing. I'm just really curious when you have your TikTok name, which is like, I was just playing with like Badass Dream Manifester, or, your Instagram name versus your website name, which is your full name. What is the best way to do that?
Who has advice?
I'll give one really fast.
Go ahead.
Simplicity. Mm-hmm. Like, I would never put the word manifester in it, not because I don't think manifestation is awesome, but because people can't spell. Mm-hmm. So simple. The shorter, the better. Names are really common. Those are always really good. But I think if you're being complicated in it, like, just don't overthink any of this, right? Make it something really simple. Memorable's good, but don't be the overthinker who's like, oh, I'll just wait until next week when it comes to me. Set it as something, but I don't like big words. I don't like a bunch of periods and dots and underscores and all kinds of whatever, because people get complicated with that. I don't like, you ever see when people have like SSSSSS and you're like trying to count the S's to make sure you can go find their profile again or whatever. Just super simple, super easy. Don't overthink.
Simone, I will tell you from my point of view, I think you need to lock up your name on every platform the moment that platform is created, even if it's not going to be popular. Get it quick, because you're going to have lots of people. Once you become more famous, you're going to have lots of people trying to hijack your name and scam people, or you can't even get your own name on a particular platform. So I like using your name and then having a descriptor, however you'd like to do it, if you can, if your name's not already taken. And I have a nephew has my name, poor kid. And my middle initial is J, and his middle initial is J also.
Oh,
way.
no.
So,
Sorry.
he's just screwed, poor kid. Any platform that's out there, I would get your name. And if you want to do something in addition to that, like Boss Lee or whatever, like Jesse Lee does. Yeah, anybody else have any other advice?
I agree wholeheartedly that your name should be in it. There's so many times I've met someone and I've talked to them a million times on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll say, "What was your name again?" And they'll say, "Oh, well, on that platform, I'm Fitness Freak 27, mom of 4." And none of these names are memorable, but if every single platform your name is Lisa, and I'm always seeing your face, then when I meet you, even if I don't have or know your last name, I put a face to the name. And the other thing I wanted to say is what you'll be doing 10 years from now is not what you're doing today
Yeah.
for any of us, but you will always be you. So hang on to your name, even if you can only use a part of it or a nickname.
Yep. Any other
If you
advice?
do it across all three,
I would do it across every single
Yep.
every single social media place in the world.
Absolutely.
Own it. Okay.
Nice.
JJ, I think, was next.
I love it.
Can you hear me, JJ?
Awesome.
Hold on, we're bringing you up.
There we go.
Can you say something?
Hi, Eric. Thank you.
Hey,
very
there
much.
you are.
Yay.
Wonderful. What's your question?
All right. First off, thank you. Just a huge fan, and you have radically changed a lot of my thinking this year alone. My question is for those who are on all these platforms is that do you guys have a team, or do you simply just do this on your own? Because it looks like you have a team, but maybe I'm assuming things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little crazy. I do everything myself. I probably shouldn't now, but I started myself. I did it myself. If I was to have a team, I'd probably get help with people commenting on the comments and maybe some like basic replies. But I do everything. I might be the unicorn in this room, but
They're all my posts. So, like, I know I just uploaded another TikTok and during that break, and people were like, "Was that you?" I'm like, Yeah, it was me. Yeah, that was also my photo I uploaded. Yeah, that was me. It's still me. I do have virtual assistants to do. That's kind of a more advanced conversation, but I do have virtual assistants for. Maybe we can get to that later. Some responding and things of that nature. But aside from that, all the posting, all the content creation, I've tried in the past a little bit of outsourcing with it, and it didn't feel or
It'll
sound
lose its
anything
heart.
like me.
Yeah.
It'll lose its authenticity. It'll lose its soul.
It actually
No.
killed my sales, and I was like, they're saying the same things I'm saying. They're
Doesn't
using my
matter.
scripts.
Yeah.
They can
There's an
tell.
energy behind it,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
agreed.
I'm a big believer that you can outsource a lot of things that allow you, when you make that investment, to do the things that only you can do, like only talk to people, etc. So I do use a team of virtual assistants, but not on my page. But I have multiple Instagram accounts that are what we call feature accounts, specific to a type of content, and those are and some of them have over 500,000 followers, and I don't touch it. So that's advertising to reach tons and tons of people, but it's not me. It's a specific type of content, and I use a VA to run all of those because I want to spend time with my family. I don't want to be stuck on my phone 24/7, but I really do. It is me when I want to. You get so much intel from talking to your followers. You hear the language that they use, the words that they use, how they describe the problem, and that's going to help you with everything.
Tabitha Barger, I think I pronounced it right. She says, I have a problem with my last name is mispronounced. It sounds like it is spelled barge, like the boat, with the ER pronunciation, which you could put in your description or your bio if you wanted to. But
Don't use it.
do you think worry's easy? Worry's not easy. I think my dad at some point was thinking about changing to Warren or something like that because it was just always so butchered. But I just decided to make it known, like Schwarzenegger is known, like whatever weird Benedict Cumberbatch, is known. Now worry's known. It's still mispronounced all the time, still misspelled all the time. But guess what? If you go misspell worry, you will find me
Right.
on social because I'm everywhere. So don't worry about your last name. Don't worry about all that stuff. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just make it popular. You can. So let's go to Anna. Hey, Anna. Oh, we can't hear her yet, quite yet. Hold on. Are you muted on your side?
I can hear you.
Oh, there you are. Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. I have two short questions. The one is, are you going to put, what is the experience by putting network marketing professional as the title, like in the bio, or when I create like my Facebook banner? Is it a good experience or not? So
I wouldn't, if I was actively building in the field, I wouldn't. I would think more in terms of benefits. Mine is network marketing professional because I'm trying to reach people to help them become network marketing professionals. But like, for example, what is your product or service that you offer?
it's like health, recovery, beauty.
Yeah, so health, beauty, and talk about those things, solving those problems. And also, you could talk about, I coach people how to become entrepreneurs. I'm on a mission to help people take charge of their own financial lives, while being healthy at the same time, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes you throw in the network marketing thing, they're going to be saying, well, they might think that they understand it. You guys have any opinions on that?
I think the same thing. It's really important that people are asking themselves, what's in it for me? And they might not even know what network marketing professional means unless they're already in the industry.
Yeah. You guys?
I'm all in with what you just mentioned there. I think I wouldn't mention it. Wouldn't mention network marketing professional.
Jesse Lee, do you talk about network marketing, or do you talk about helping people?
If any, mine's always heavy on the helping people, training people, coaching, whatever. If anything, I might put something like MLM Pro, just because it makes people go, "What is that?" Like I like things that make people ask questions.
Got it.
But I don't have anything that says Network Marketing Pro.
Okay.
And I just had the short question about the languages.
Yes.
Because I'm building currently in Germany specifically, but when you go on TikTok, it's like English is like the language.
Answer the language question.
What-
We were talking about this yesterday, I think. Yeah.
Great question, by the way.
Such a good question. We actually referenced Germany yesterday. So it depends what your goal is. I mean, English is, fortunately or unfortunately, it's the universal language. Your English is beautiful, by the way. I would make sure you always have English content, but you also need German content.
Yeah.
When you're writing captions, I would recommend that your captions are in English and in German, or your respective languages. I know we probably have a lot of people who speak many different languages across the globe. When it comes to TikTok, you could get kind of creative with it, because a lot of TikTok is trending things. So it's trending sounds. You don't necessarily need languaging on it, but you can put text on TikTok, which I'll show you later, either today or tomorrow. You could do that in both languages, or you could speak in one of the languages and then write in a different one. So you're hitting both people. This is sort of jumping ahead, but just to answer to your question, my personal international business exploded when I started doing TikTok because of hashtags. So speaking specifically to Germany, by hashtagging Deutschland, obviously not hashtag Germany, I actually ended up recruiting multiple Germans. So even with, I can say Dankeschön, like that's about it. And like, ich liebe dich, like that's it, right? That's my German, and it ends there. But but Germans, but I mean, you understand the culture because you are German. There's a lot, you learn English in your schooling as an overarching statement. So being a native English speaker, I've been able to recruit native German speakers just by using a hashtag. So don't feel, so I would use a lot of English, but I would make sure people know you are German. A flag in your bio would be really good. That's very popular on TikTok. I am in German TikTok currently, actually. So I'm coming for it. No, I'm kidding.
Hello.
But having those flags, especially if you are international, is very, very beneficial.
And some of the big leaders that I work with have when they do both. Like one I'm thinking about does German and English. He does videos in English with German subtitles, and he does videos in German with English subtitles.
Yep.
So both of his audiences are taken care of at the same time. Is that helpful, Anna? All right. Give Anna a big round of applause. Well done. Well done. I want to go to Angel Fletcher because she's got to have some questions for this panel. Z6, room 6, Angel Fletcher. Let's bring up my pal, my buddy, my friend, my superstar, amazing woman, Ms. Fletcher. You'll be up here in a second.
Hello.
There she is. Say something again. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Was that little
I'm good.
was that a
How are
grandbaby
you?
running around behind you a second ago?
Oh, I have a grandbaby running around. I'm the new mama to 2 Frenchie bulldogs. I'm expanding my life as I'm locked into my.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So this was the lady I was just mentioning, ladies and gentlemen. She's making about $7 million a year or something like that. Is that about right?
That's a good ballpark.
A good ballpark. That doesn't include your husband, does it? No, his is on top.
No, we're not married yet, so of course I'm not counting. He doesn't count yet.
I know you delayed the marriage because of COVID, but when you add the two together, it's over 10, isn't it?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's over 10.
I love that.
Yeah. So do you have any questions for this esteemed panel, this incredible, unbelievable panel to help you up your social media game?
Yeah, can I hire all of you?
Probably.
Eric, it's so funny that people that love social media, when they hear I'm not glamorous on any of them. I just kind of do enough to get by, right? And they go, oh my gosh, I could never do it without social media. And then there are people who are like me who don't do it on social media who go, oh my gosh, I could never do it on social media. And so this is the thing. Whatever you're not doing is the hurdle, right? So I could have many times in this said, oh, well, I'll never be able to do this. I don't do videos. I can't do TikTok. Mm-hmm. So that's the hurdle. And so I have to tell you guys, part of my goals in 2021 are to overcome that hurdle so that it's no longer an excuse that I can use. Mm. And this is the other lesson that I've learned that I would love advice from you guys is, so TikTok, I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. Okay. Not going to happen. I'm going to do Facebook Lives. I'm going to do some Instagram videos. I'm never going to do TikTok.
Can I challenge that just for a second? Mm-hmm. Let me challenge it just for a second. If everybody else here does one TikTok before this social media mastery event is over, will you just do one? Just do one. And we'll make it easy for you. We'll make it simple. You don't have to do a dance and you don't have to do anything silly. But if you do one, and these guys are going to script it out for you almost, point by point, mm-hmm. and just see if you don't go viral, because I think you just might. Will you try one?
Yes, as long as it's not doing anything that Jesse Lee would do.
That's what I wanted to ask. Why do you say you would never do one? What is the reasoning? What is the belief that you have about TikTok that has you saying right now, like, I never want to do that?
To be honest and completely transparent, it's for young people. It's for hip, popular. I'm none of those. I do everything.
So if we could show you that that's a myth, would you be open to it? Awesome. That's all. Because Jesse Lee's heart is pounding out of her chest right now. We can show you. That's a myth.
And if you see the wall right now, the wall's just has some people who are our age going, no. It's not just for kids.
No.
Not just for kids. There's a way to be able to do it. And Angel, I'm with you. I'm nervous too. Yeah. Okay. I haven't done a single TikTok, but I will do one if you will do one.
Oh.
Wow.
Fair enough.
I will do one. So this is the funny thing that I wanted to share with you, Eric. I
Okay.
call, so when with my grandchildren, there's so many things they don't want to eat. Okay. And so I've adapted this thing that's called the no thank you bite. You don't have to eat it, but you have to taste it. And then if you don't like it, you simply respond and say no thank you. So I will do a no thank you TikTok with you. I will try it on for size. And if I don't love it or like it or don't feel comfortable, then I will simply say no thank you.
No, thank you.
You got a maybe.
I like it. I like
You got a
it.
maybe.
A no thank you TikTok.
Love that.
All right,
I do have a
perfect.
legit question, Eric.
You have such a consumable product. I mean, you don't have to do TikTok like Jessie Lee. You don't have to do TikTok like anybody. But I will tell you, I know you love live video. You're very strong on live video. You're an incredible trainer. You're amazing. You inspire all of us on stage for sure. And all these people in Accelerator should have already known your name before you even, in my opinion, even got on the screen. But I will tell you, you only need 1,000 followers to go live on TikTok. So can you imagine your reach if you do, like the TikTok I'm going to teach you guys either today or tomorrow, it is not what you're probably thinking is a Jessie Lee TikTok. So it's like very, very calm. You guys will be fine. No one's going to barf, I don't think. It's really simple, but you could probably get your 1,000 followers like that. Your ability to go live. And I mean, I'll teach and train through all of this, but when you're live, if that hits for you and you've got a TikTok also on for you, I mean, I not that you need help making money, okay, but you're gonna make some impact.
Everybody, give
So as
me.
I navigate through this, Eric,
Yep.
what is the most important? Because I think that's the part that we get those of us who aren't on a lot of social media. What's the most important?
Here's what I would say.
So many.
Here's what I would say. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You need to get your profiles solid on those three, and you need to have a presence on those three. That's according to what's working in network marketing today. And then decide how omnipresent you want to be on the different platforms. You can decide after that. And look, after you've tried it and said no thank you, that's fine. If it's Facebook and Instagram, fine. But you're going to hear so many big results coming out of TikTok that at some point you're going to say, you know what, I got to bite the bullet and do this because it's obvious. And also me doing it is going to inspire my team to do it. And that's going to help them probably more than it helps me.
Yeah.
You do the uncomfortable things so your team gets more comfortable. You understand? All right. Give Angel Fletcher, icon in this business, a big round of applause. All right, love you, sister. All right, how many of you have ever received a COVID test in order to travel? Raise your hands. Anybody ever received a COVID test? Well, Fraser flew in here from Dubai, and in order for him to fly back, he has to have a COVID test. So we have the doctor here, and you're going to be able to see who's going to make a TikTok about this because
phone's out.
He's getting his COVID test in front of all
you
of
are
you.
great.
Of course
So
I
what,
am.
what are we doing?
To go up to the line.
I've got to spit up to the line.
To the line.
Fraser has to get a COVID
All right,
test.
so the question I've got is, has anyone spat on a GoPro stage before?
No, you're the first one
I'm
to
the first.
spit.
I'm probably,
Just in case.
the problem is I've not drank any water for about an hour because I'm not able.
We get to watch you spit.
Can I use phlegm?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Oh, your nose? Ew.
Okay.
Gross.
I'm winding up.
You'd be surprised how much comes out.
Come on.
It's not the nose thing anymore?
This is the new
can
way
do
of
it.
doing
Oh.
it. It's less
I believe in
aggressive.
you.
So much more
Actually, the
comfortable.
swab test we have does the front of the nose, not the back of the nose, so it's even better. But this is the nicer way to do it.
I don't know. I thought it was a swab. I don't know if we want to watch Fraser spit for 15 minutes.
He could turn around.
Oh,
I've got to get up to the line.
Yeah, you may have to.
He's trying to go home to
You may
Dubai.
have to rub your back a little bit.
This is like the most public COVID
Half the
test
people are
of
like,
all
this is
time.
hilarious. The other half are like,
You got a long way to go, bro.
well, thank God it's not a urine
What is
test.
wrong with your spit?
I'm not
Your
drunk water.
spit is like
No.
chunky. What's wrong with you?
It's coming. It's coming.
People are talking about the hot wings. How many people saw me eating those hot wings? The hot wings
happening?
during the women's event was brutal. Going in and coming out. Brutal.
Are you done yet?
Carolina
I've got no
Reaper,
I've got no water. for
that
hours.
scorpion thing. Oh my God.
You know what you
it
should
was
do?
the worst.
Think about lemons.
Oh, it's working.
You know what I mean? Like a lemon, like super sour.
The
It's
scorpion
working, isn't it?
was
Look
brutal.
at much better.
There you go.
Spit
There
quality
you
is
go.
improving.
Yeah, but it's not dropping down.
Well, that's because it's chunky. I don't know what's wrong with your spit.
Oh my Lord.
You guys, this is
looks
a
like we're
concern.
halfway
Somebody
there.
call his
We're
wife.
halfway.
It looks like it.
We're halfway.
I put the line on so we know where to go.
Can I
Come
use
on,
tears?
visualize.
Can I use tears?
You can't visualize a lemon?
Can he like drink water and pretend it's a spit?
No, because then the
What's
COVID,
that?
the water doesn't have COVID. He might.
Consistency, yes.
I'm not
That
6
was
feet
the
away from
question.
you. This is
She was
This is
saying-
like,
basically she was saying
it's trying to find a spit.
If this is going to take much longer, we're going to have to move you off stage.
no.
Oh, yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I'm going off.
All right, go spit somewhere else.
Oh my goodness!
So then,
Go spit someplace else.
so then which one would you pick?
I thought they were going to stick the stick
I thought that
up
was gonna
his,
take 2 seconds.
because it's
What's
the
wrong with his spit?
Okay,
Agreed. Oops.
we have to talk about one more thing for the next 10 minutes or so. And then Shalene and Brock are going to take you up until the lunch break, and they're going to start teaching you how to post, what to post, and how to really up your game when it comes to social media. But before we do that, I think if this is your billboard, if your profile and your pages are your calling card, there are some things on those pages that you don't want people to see. So I think you need to do a little purge. If there's a picture of you sloppy drunk at a party or doing something that might be construed as inappropriate or trying to be funny and it didn't come off funny, it came off offensive. Let me give you an example. I posted a post a month ago about vaccinations.
Oh, Eric.
Oh, are you asking for it?
But I actually didn't. It was a joke post
Oh.
that it said something, for the good of all, I'm 100% behind mandatory vacations.
Wow.
Vacations. Mandatory vacations for the good of all, or something like that. And everybody read it as vaccinations. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And I said mandatory vacations. I didn't even say vaccination. But the amount of hate and anger and violence that was thrown into the comments for me saying
my God.
mandatory vacations, for the first time ever, my Facebook was suspended
Oh.
because people in the comments reported me for hate speech. I was reported for hate speech, even though I said mandatory vacations. So is that worth the joke? No. Is your political leanings worth the post? There are consequences. If you're a Democrat or you're a Republican in the United States, if you want that to be part of your billboard, you know that you're going to lose half of your audience.
That's right.
Same thing's true with any hot topic, whether it's guns, gun rights, abortions, anything. Be careful to what it does for your brand. So if you have things, now look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't stand up for what you believe in. Go ahead, but just know that there are consequences. There are consequences if you take a hard line on one particular side of a topic. So what I would ask you to do, because if somebody wants to look you up, they're going to look at your profile and then they're going to scroll through some of your posts, and they're going to, through the scrolling through the posts, they're going to identify who you really are.
Yep.
They're going to do a quick scroll. Let me see who this person is. And if they see things that are offensive to them in the slightest way, or inappropriate in the slightest way, or they see you being, dressing or acting in a way that might not be what your brand says above, be careful. Just be careful. Be aware that if you're going to be a global brand business ambassador, you have to be sensitive to the world, sensitive and respectful. There are some people that I've done business with I can't do business with anymore because they're so offensive to my community. Mm-hmm. They're so over the top offensive because they're taking their stand, man. And they're calling everybody else who doesn't believe in them idiots. I can't have them call half of my audience an idiot.
Right.
I want to love everybody in my audience. I don't want to judge people in my audience. I want to bring value to people in my audience. So talk about, I would love to hear from you guys how they should, and should you go delete old posts?
Jesus, yeah.
There's a lot of comedians that wish they deleted old posts.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of big entertainment people that wish they deleted old posts, old tweets, old Instagrams, old whatever, because they were trying to be funny or they're trying to be ironic or they're trying to be sarcastic and it didn't come through that way. And later on, they were held to task over that. So I would just encourage you, before you become really famous, purge it now. Yeah. If there's something that was a little off color, purge it now. If there's something that somebody of a different color or different race or different background or different life experience or different view on the world would term hurtful or hateful, take it down now. It's just in the best interest of your business. Jesse Lee, what are your thoughts on this?
So first I'll give you guys directive really fast since I know we're doing a workshop. I'm going to show you on your Facebook. So if you guys want to go to your own page, so, y'all know how to go to your page. Your phone's in your hand, just go to your page. On the bottom right-hand side, there's the 3 lines. So it's like ding, ding, ding. Just hit that. And then it'll open up a menu, kind of a dashboard. So for those who are like, oh, I was definitely drunk in college 12 years ago, whatever it is, you can click on memories then. So every single day, I actually do this just to double check. Oh my gosh, Eric, we were at your birthday party 2 years ago today. Did you know that? Look.
Today?
It was like your birthday party.
Oh, the late one that we did when we moved into our house or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So anyway, did not know. Now we know. So I just scroll through and I just double check that what I'm doing. Okay. Yes. Good. Oh, I went to a wedding 3 years ago. Was at my corporate office. Did a charity thing 4 years ago. That's good. Live. 5's good. Okay. 6 years ago is good. Just scroll through your memories every single day and say, okay, like, hold on a second. Okay. Like this one doesn't even make sense. Like, no, like this one gotta go. Like it doesn't belong on my page. So if you do this every day, you can just quickly delete. You can also set it as only you. So you can hit the 3 buttons on the top right if you see those. So hit the 3 buttons and you can click edit privacy. So if you're somebody who's like, you know what? Like, I don't want to delete that photo. That's funny. Like, I want to laugh when that pops up every year. That's fine. You can hide it. Okay? And the memories you have or the posts you made are what's popping up. So if you didn't make a post 4 years ago, it's not going to pop up. I've been consistent on social media. I have a post every year for 12 years straight. So success leaves clues. Yeah. So that's number 1. But I'll tell you, like, there's ways around it. Okay. So some of you I know are super passionate about something and it's just busting out of you. You really want to talk about COVID. You're dying to talk about vaccines or political rights or whatever it is. And I have strong beliefs. Eric, I'm sure has strong beliefs. I'm sure Brock and Shailene have strong beliefs, right? There's ways to do things without highly offending anybody. So I'll just give an actual personal example. And this is a word I use all the time. And I'm literally going to let you all think what you want about what I'm going to say. And I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. Okay. I tell people all the time on live video, constantly and I post about it, etc., that I am super empathetic. One of my words, my number one core value in my business is empathy. Do with that what you want. Some of you might think like there's no, oh, she's a this, she's a that, da, da, da. It's just that is as divisive, and that's not divisive at all. That's as divisive as I'm going to get. Right? So you can decide for you, but we've seen $1 million earners go out there and post the craziest things, and all of us are like, oh my.
Let me comment on this. And I lost her. She was up on the screen. Terry Brady. Wave, Terry, if you're on the screen. I'm trying to find you.
That only took 20
can't
minutes.
see her.
Back.
She was there a second ago. But anyway, she says, I'll always stand for what I believe, and those that are meant to follow me will. The others are not my people, and that's okay. And Terry, let me just tell you, I admire your passion, and I think your passion is probably what makes you successful. And if you want to make your brand be about that stand, do it. Do it. If it's not, hey, Terry, there you are. How you doing, sister? Can you hear me? Can I hear you?
She can hear us, but
Okay.
we can hear her.
Well, anyway,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Hi, Terry.
Okay.
So I will give you an example. I know somebody who was a big leader in network marketing, and Christianity was a centerpiece of his business. Like, it was non-negotiable. They were doing altar calls at business presentations. They were having, laying on of hands at conventions. They were all in. And it naturally attracted the Christian folks, and it built a identity around the Christian identity, right? It was all fine. But anybody who wasn't that aggressive, they moved out. And just know that whatever your stand's going to be, I think people kind of know that I have a spiritual walk. Generally, raise your hands if you feel like I have a spiritual center to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I do. But I learned a long time ago, it's okay to mention God, and it's a little less okay to start mentioning the different versions.
Yeah.
Jesus or Muhammad or whatever. Be a little bit respectful and let everybody understand that spirituality is part of my life, important part of my life, but I'm not going to tell you which form to practice. So I've made that decision for me, because I'm sure on this wall right now, is every single walk of life, and I wouldn't want you to feel uncomfortable being around what we're doing here. There's pro guns on this wall. There's pro choice on this wall. There's pro-life. There's pro-choice. There's pro-guns. There's anti-guns. There is Democrats and there's Republicans. There's people who are agnostic. There's people who are true believers. There's people who are what do they call them when they don't believe in anything?
Atheist.
They don't believe in spirituality. An atheist.
Agnostic.
Agnostic or an atheist. There's all of those here, and I want them to know that I love them all. So I can have my beliefs. I can stand in my beliefs. I don't have to compromise my beliefs, but I want to bring as much value as I can to my community. So I just want you, Terry, to understand, and I'm sure there's other people that says, you know what? If I don't stand up for it, somebody's got to. There's a place to be able to do that, and there's a way to be able to do that, and still be able to have a broad tent. Does that make sense?
Yes.
One of the best things I ever heard was actually from Tiffany Malott on this, and she said so many network marketing teams, they wonder why they don't grow, and it's because they end up becoming an echo chamber of exactly themselves. And in order for you to take over the world, you've got to build an army. You've got to build an army. And so that is every color, that is every race, every gender, every sexuality, every country, understanding languages, understanding diversity. Like, it's just being a good human. And the more you do that, you will build your army. But if it ends up being, if you don't fit into this little microcosm, then you don't belong here. You are like,
they can feel uncomfortable.
They feel it. They feel
and,
it.
And also, I'll mention profanity. And I have some disagreements with some of my high-profile friends. And some of you might not even be okay with this, but I think a shit or a damn or that kind of stuff here or there for punctuation, I'm kind of okay with, but an F-bomb or a MF bomb. I remember the first time Tony came to speak. Tony's my friend. I love Tony. Tony's my buddy. But our, 8-year-old was sitting in the front row getting blasted with MF after MF after MF. And our audience was like, whoa, this is not okay. And, he explains how he does what he does and for a reason and all that stuff. But afterwards, we respectfully asked him, listen, pattern interrupts, and I get it all. Tony, can we put into our contract a no profanity clause? Are you cool with that? And he's 100% cool with it. So I was like, okay, I'll take the best of Tony, but I don't need that piece. Personally, I think that stuff, he does it, Gary Vee does it quite a bit. I think it costs them, my personal opinion, I think it costs them more than it buys them. My opinion. Okay? My style. But, it's their raw, authentic self. And yes, it's a pattern interrupt and all that stuff. But you got to decide what you want to do for you. And you know what I'm a big believer in? Study results. What's working? Am I growing my audience or am I chasing people away? Is my strong belief, like I'll talk to you about politics for a moment. And I know it's a hot topic. I'm a big believer that politics is a pendulum, right? It swings here, it swings there. It swings here, it swings there. And entrepreneurs adapt to whatever it swings. And some people get sucked into the media, they get sucked into the narrative that they have to speak up, otherwise their candidate is not going to win. So they blast everybody else. And they're also, for every election of my lifetime, they say, if this other guy gets in, it's the end of our democracy as we know it. It will never recover. Say goodbye to freedom. It's gone if this clown gets in. And then that clown gets in, and then they're there for a while, and then the other clown gets in, and then the other clown gets in, and then the other clown gets in. And people are just sucked into this cycle of going back and forth and being all worked up about it when entrepreneurs just say, okay, rules changed a little bit. How do we adapt? Let's just go. So you can be part of that narrative, or you can just say, you know what? They don't control your future. You do. They don't control whether you're going to succeed or fail. You do.
Yeah.
You might have to do it with different rules. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So same thing's true with that. So Terry, I love your passion, and that passion is probably why you're successful. I love it. But just know that there's some people that might not agree with all of your passions 100% that need you. They need you to go to the next level. Okay? So thanks for letting me use you as an example. Love you, sister. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring Shalene and Brock are going to be able to be here with us through the lunch break, and then they'll be back here tomorrow. But we're going to let them take and bring you the incredible heat. They've got students all over the world that utilize their tactics and strategies to have breakthrough after breakthrough. And we're so privileged that they're here to share with us. So Shalene and Brock, you get the stage. Go get them.
Do it. Awesome. You ready? Well, first things first, we can, I think we are logged into Fraser's Facebook account. So what we could do right now is hack it
Very
and
easily.
change his profile to be us
I think
together.
we should do that.
Should we? Tell us in the chat if we should hack Fraser's Facebook page right now. Hey, I think that's the first thing I want. They're saying yes. Yes. It isn't so incredibly valuable, your social media, and I think we haven't really talked about this, but it is so valuable. It's not everything, but it's incredibly valuable. Think about how much time you're hearing all of us using to develop our social media platforms. Please make sure yours are password protected, just like your bank. Make sure you're using two-factor authentication on every single one of these platforms, because the number of hacks that happen every single day is in the millions. And there's no hotline number to call. No one cares. They don't care if you have a blue check. They don't care if you're a celebrity or famous. And I think I need an Apple box. Why do I make such tall children? I have my highest heels on. But so that's a special reminder to make sure
Absolutely.
you are protected.
Doesn't matter who you are. It can be taken away at any moment. And it's a little different on every app. So GTS, to go back to our talk about profanity, I will say that GTS stands for Google that stuff. But Google that stuff and you can figure out how to turn on the two-factor authentication on every app.
We want to talk to you about what it is you need to post. And I know a lot of you struggle with that. I should say, I assume that's what a lot of us struggle with. So let us know in the chat, how many of you, the most frustrating piece about social is I just don't know what to post. I don't know that my life is that interesting, or that I can be that creative, or that I have things that are worthy of posting today. So how many of you struggle to post? Yes. Awesome. Yeah. And that's what we want to talk to you about today. Before we go there, I don't know if we've really made it clear that this is my son. I just want to make sure people don't think I'm your sister or anything.
Is that what they would think?
Maybe. And Brock and I love teaching social media. It's something that we have been geeking out together on for a very long time. In fact, Brock was able to buy his first vehicle on his own, because your mom's not buying your car, your dad's not buying your car, you're buying your car. And he bought his first vehicle, which was a
1988 Ford pickup truck.
And did that by building a business on Twitter while he was in middle school. And I think that was probably your first taste, would you say?
One of my first tastes, for sure. Yeah, of building this business for myself, or building a business for myself, really. And then I went off to college.
Yep.
I played college football, and I was away from home for the first time, but relying very heavily on my parents for finances, paying for not just school, but eating out and my groceries and my books and my housing and all of that. And I felt this guilt almost, because I didn't want to just rely on them for my financial means. I wanted to create financial independence, financial freedom, financial security for myself. But as a college football player, I didn't have time for a traditional full-time job. And I'm sure so many of you can relate to wanting to, you're not being able to be a part of that traditional 9-to-5 job and wanting to create financial stability for yourself. So that's when I started my first business, was my freshman year of college, my first real legitimate business, when I was about 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah, and I think one of the greatest lessons all of us can learn is that this is a very special moment. Like I said earlier, when I first started my very first legitimate business in college, there was no social media. If you wanted more eyeballs, you had to buck up a lot of money and pay for an ad that you didn't know if it would work. You didn't know if it would reach people. You didn't know if it would connect. And that was a gamble. And if it didn't work, you couldn't just go back to the drawing board and do it again. You had to invest more money. Today, whatever it is you're creating in social media, if it doesn't work, that's okay, because it's freaking free.
Yeah.
And if you're reaching 20 people, that's huge. Think about that. If you can 10x that, that's our opportunity today, is to help you do that. So we're going to first, and I know for some of you, I understand how this works, but I think if we start kind of at the beginning and help you understand the changes in the algorithm, and while we're going to focus primarily on Instagram, what we're teaching you is exactly what we do on TikTok and on Facebook. It's really, there's been a shift in the way we all kind of consume social media. I'm sure most of you would agree. In fact, I'd love to know how many of you, what you used to want to see on social media platforms is it's evolved, it's different. You've got less time to spend scrolling through people's photos from some stranger's wedding, rehearsal dinner. Like, how many of you, you really want to be much more strategic with your time when you're on social. And that's what the algorithm is. People think it's like a dude in Silicon Valley, like trying to mess with all of us. They changed the algorithm again. It just doesn't, it doesn't work that way. We all dictate the algorithm.
I think if you've seen the documentary, The Social Dilemma, you know the scary idea of what the algorithm can be, that it's a bunch of guys sitting in a room with hoodies on, and they're pulling up your content and deciding, ooh, she should be in Facebook jail today, or ooh, let's penalize her because we just don't like her or him. When ultimately, it's just basically an equation that determines who sees your posts and who doesn't.
Based on your behavior. It's not a random person. It's like we are all dictating the algorithm. So to break this down, here's how it works on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook. It's all the same. When you make a post, the algorithm knows who your ride or dies are. Right? So that you might have 5 of those, you might have 10 of those, you might have 20 of those if you're really lucky. And these are the people who are like, it don't matter what you post or how bad it is, they give you a like. And they probably are going to even say something nice. We all have at least one, right? Some of us have more. But you have this really small, fine line of people that are your ride or dies. Like they're like waiting for your next post. The algorithm looks at that. And if that whole tier of ride or dies do something with it, they engage, well, then it kind of spreads it out to the people who are pretty solid with you. They regularly like, comment, or do some type of engagement on your posts. From there,
it can either continue to reach more and more people, or if those people stop interacting, the algorithm will show your post to less people. That's how it works on TikTok. That's how it works on Instagram. They're constantly checking to see, do your followers, do they enjoy this? Are they spending time with it? Are they liking it? Are they commenting? Or when they see it, are they just scrolling on by? The algorithm tracks all of that. And so if your people, your audience, that first little batch who sees the content, if they engage, it gets shown to more. And then if they all engage, it gets shown to more. And that's how posts go viral. That's how posts reach thousands of people. I do want to quickly say, though, something that you kind of mentioned a minute ago, which is think about the power of reaching just 20 people. Imagine being able to walk into a classroom full of people and give a lecture or share your content. That's powerful. A lot of times we get caught up in these numbers and we see hundreds of thousands of followers and millions of views, when ultimately, I mean, if you're walking into a classroom of 30 people, that's a powerful amount of attention to hold. So I don't want you to get discouraged. If you don't have hundreds of followers, or if you don't get thousands of views yet, that can come. That's what we're going to talk about. But let's recognize the power that we have to even just network with a small community of people.
But and I know you've probably heard that before, but let me break it down even further for you. And this part I think is going to blow your mind, more so even than the chat that's going crazy about the height differential between the two of us. This is going to blow your mind, even though you are all very distracted by how could a 5'2" woman produce something that tall? And she has heels on.
5'2" might be an exaggeration.
Go to your room.
There's a doctor here. He can measure you.
Go to your room. So here's what you need to understand. Remember how we said, like, every time that tier goes out, like it shows it to like more and more people? Think about it. Every time it goes to a new tier, there's more people who don't know you that well, right? And so Instagram is here's what they're looking at. Does someone who doesn't know this person that well find this at all interesting? Hang on to that. Of course your homies are going to find it interesting. Of course your family's going to find it interesting. But like Instagram doesn't care about that. They're like, how we want to push out content that like strangers who don't know you find it worthy of stopping to engage with. Okay? So if you don't know me and I post a photo just standing next to my son, other than the fact that there's a huge height differential, is it at all worthy of you stopping and posting and looking? Probably not, right? But if there was something I was sharing with you that was specifically how you could grow your Instagram, well, that is worthy to people who don't know us. So that's the first thing you need to take away, is that you've got to think about, like, is this at all interesting to complete strangers? Because if it's not, it stops right there at the people who already know you. And we could just like leave right now, and just that measure alone should help you understand, like, wow. And before you make your next post, just ask yourself, is this interesting or valuable or worthy or motivational or inspirational or entertaining to people who don't know me? That's the algorithm in a nutshell. Wow, applause.
If it doesn't add value to them, if it's not valuable, they don't care about it. Gone are the days, we have limited attention. So gone are the days of, here's my kid off to school. Here's my dog up on the couch. Here's me out to dinner last night with my friends. That is self-serving content. It's self-focused content. It's look at me. It's the influencers and the celebrities who we all are annoyed with now. It's look at me, me. I did this. This is my great life. This is my imperfect, inauthentic me. Instead, we need to change our focus with all of our content. Even if you've been watching us today and you say, forget Instagram, forget Facebook, forget TikTok, I'm going on YouTube. All of your content on whatever social media you're on should be focused on serving your audience, not self-serving with talking about me, highlighting yourself, look how great I am.
And that's something I wanted to mention, because the people that we've got on the panel are freaking amazing, right? And I don't think enough instructors say this, but I'm definitely going to say it. You don't want to do necessarily what I'm able to do, or maybe what Jesse Lee or Eric or Brock, unless you already have a known following. Right now, for the majority of people who are watching right now, you're trying to become known for something. And it is kind of a little different. Like, once you become known, then you can broaden your focus. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But the number one thing right now, and just a little pop quiz, everybody tell us, the question you're going to ask yourself before you make your next post is, this interesting to who? Hit it up in the chat. Let's see if people get it right. Is it interesting to strangers? Is it interesting to your audience? Yeah, exactly. Is it interesting to strangers? So is me showing you my lifestyle, if I have 200 followers and I don't yet have I'm not known for something, is modeling my lifestyle, is that useful or interesting or helpful? Probably not. Not yet. Okay, so the goal is that we want to get engagement. What counts as engagement?
Engagement is, of course, the things we normally think of, like a like or a share, a comment. On Instagram, it might be a save. But there's tons of other forms
Swipes,
of engagement.
If you're on carousel, that counts as engagement. The amount of time that you spend on a post, believe it or not, even if you don't like it or do anything, that counts as engagement. All of that counts as engagement. And that's your goal. I know it sounds like a vanity metric, but that engagement is what makes sure your content's going out to like the next layer of people who don't yet know you. So the question is, which of those pieces of engagement, is it a like, a comment, and this is a pop quiz. Let's not say the answer.
Okay.
What piece of those forms of engagement, which one do you think is the most likely to introduce you to a new audience?